The moment I opened her computer, my hands froze on the keyboard because the screen didn't just glow with pixels and files. It glowed with a life I wasn't supposed to see, a truth hidden behind it. Professional smiles and perfectly pressed blazers, and in that instant I understood that some accidents aren't mistakes at all, but quiet invitations to witness another human being. I had come in early like always, sleeves rolled, coffee cold, expecting nothing more than error logs and a stubborn hard drive, yet there it was, a photograph filling the screen with warmth and vulnerability, and my chest tightened as if I'd stumbled into a memory that didn't belong to me, but somehow needed me anyway. Before the story pulls you deeper, if you enjoy emotional, real, life-inspired stories that linger in your heart, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who loves meaningful stories, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel Stories Beyond the Porch. Your support keeps stories like this alive. I was the quiet one in the office, the kind of employee people only noticed when something broke. Computers froze, printers screamed, networks failed, and I appeared like a shadow with a screwdriver and patience. My boss was different from the others, sharp, respected, impeccably composed. She walked through the office with purpose, heels clicking like a metronome that kept everyone in line. To us, she was efficiency and deadlines, a woman who never missed a meeting and never showed a crack. I had worked under her for 2 years and knew her only as a title and a schedule, not as a person with a life beyond the glass walls of her office. That morning, she had sent a short email asking me to check her computer before a big presentation. I remember feeling the weight of responsibility as I unlocked her office, the city still half asleep outside the windows. When the system booted up, the desktop appeared, and before I could minimize anything, the photo revealed itself. It wasn't glamorous or staged. It was her, sitting on a worn couch, hair loose, sunlight brushing her face with tenderness. There was no armor in that image, no authority, only a woman caught mid, laugh, eyes soft, carrying a gentleness that contradicted everything I thought I knew. The shock wasn't inappropriate curiosity, it was recognition. I recognized loneliness, the kind that settles quietly in successful people when the applause fades. As I worked, fixing corrupted files and clearing errors, the image stayed with me like a secret ache. When she walked in, I expected embarrassment or anger. Instead, there was a stillness, a pause in her usual rush, and she noticed the screen before I could close it. Her composure didn't shatter, but something shifted. She looked at me, not as an employee, but as another human standing at the edge of an unspoken moment. She asked me, without defensiveness, without pride, whether I thought she was pretty. The question wasn't about beauty, it was about worth. It was about years of being seen only for results and numbers, about nights going home to silence, about wondering if the woman in the photograph still existed beneath the titles. I didn't answer with flattery. I answered with honesty, telling her that the photo felt real, that it showed someone kind, someone alive. I watched relief soften her shoulders, as if a weight she'd been carrying alone had finally been acknowledged. From that day on, things changed in ways neither of us announced. She still led meetings, still demanded excellence, but there was warmth now. She asked how my weekends were. She remembered details. I began to see her not as an untouchable figure, but as someone who had climbed high and paid for it in quiet ways. The office, once sterile, felt human. People smiled more. I noticed how often she stayed late, how she sometimes stared out the window as if searching for something she'd misplaced years ago. My own life was a series of small rooms and smaller expectations. Fixing machines was safe. They didn't ask questions or judge dreams. But seeing her vulnerability stirred something restless in me. I began to wonder how many people around me were carrying invisible stories. I started listening more, caring more. Even my work changed, infused with patience and pride. When challenges came, a system crash before a major deadline, a budget cut that threatened layoff, so I watched her navigate fear with grace, and I saw how much strength it took to keep going when everyone expected perfection. There were moments of tension, too. Rumors whispered when people noticed our mutual respect. Boundaries were tested by perception, and we both felt the strain of being watched. Yet nothing inappropriate ever happened. What connected us was understanding, not desire. The real challenge was internal. She wrestled with the fear of being reduced to that question again, the fear that her worth depended on someone else's validation. I struggled with stepping out of invisibility, with believing that my quiet presence mattered. Time moved, as it always does, carrying us forward. Her presentation was a success, earning recognition from the highest levels of the company. Applause filled the conference room, but I noticed her eyes scanning the crowd, searching not for praise but for connection. Later, she thanked me, not just for fixing her computer, but for seeing her. That gratitude stayed with me longer than any promotion could. Eventually, opportunities pulled us in different directions. She accepted a role that took her to another city, another chapter. On her last day, the office gathered, speeches were made, gifts exchanged. When she passed by my desk, there was a quiet nod, a shared understanding that some moments change us forever without needing to be explained. After she left, the office felt different, but so did I. I no longer hid behind broken machines. I spoke up, took risks, and pursued growth with a courage I didn't know I had. Years later, I still remember that photograph, not as an intrusion, but as a reminder that everyone carries a private self behind public roles. I learned that kindness can arrive unexpectedly, that a simple, sincere response can become a turning point, and that seeing someone fully, even for a second, can ripple through lives in ways we never predict. The story isn't about fixing a computer. It's about recognizing humanity in places we least expect it. As this story draws to a close, if it touched your heart or reminded you of a moment when you truly saw someone, please take a second to like the video, share it, and stay connected with Stories Beyond the Porch. Your engagement helps these stories reach others who need them. And before you go, I have a special request. Please comment the line, "I see you," if this story resonated with you, because sometimes those 3 words are all it takes to change a life.